My Valentine's Day. A long time ago, when I was in elementary school, it was Valentine's Day. And this is a story that I'm never going to forget. Valentine's Day used to be my favorite holiday because we would get candy and we could make cards. One year, I was probably about 8 or 9 years old. I was in school and we had a Valentine's Day party. But what you had to do before the party is you had to go home and you had to make a shoebox. You had to decorate the shoebox. You could put stickers on it and make it colorful. What you also had to do is you had to put a hole in the top of the box. We had to do this so that way other kids, they could pass out cards and put them into your shoebox. Mine was beautiful, and tomorrow was Valentine's Day, and I couldn't wait. So in the morning, I got up, I got dressed, and it was time for school, and I was excited. Cards and candy, oh, I was excited. We never had the parties in the morning. They were always in the afternoon. The party started at about 1:30. First, we would eat, we would make heart cookies, we had red punch. Now it's time to pass out the Valentine's Day card. But before we could pass out the Valentine's Day card, we had to make the Valentine's Day card. So we had to go home and make the cards. And if I liked you, sometimes I would write the cards out nice and neat. But if I didn't like you, it was just sloppy and I didn't really care. Okay, so now it was time for the Valentine's Day party. Well, long ago, we didn't have buses. So we had to walk to school. I thought the school was probably about 1 mile from my house. So me and my friend, we would walk together. We didn't think it was that far, so we just decided it would be fun. My sister and my brother, they were older. They were about 10 years older than I was. Yeah, they were about 10 years older. They were in high school, and I was in elementary school, and the elementary school was far away. So in the morning, I was excited. I had my box in my hand, and I was ready to walk to school. Now it was time to pass out the cards. I went around and I put all my cards in my friends' boxes. My box, it was full. There was about 25 or 30 kids in the class. So it was full. I couldn't wait to see who wrote on what. We ate, and as soon as we got done doing that, it was time to open the cards. I took the lid off my box and I started reading on my cards. Okay, I know who wrote that. I know who wrote that. I got to this one card, and I started reading it. I looked around, and it broke my heart. It wasn't nice. I don't know who would write that, and it didn't have their name on it. They were such a chicken. The card said, "Roses are red, and violets are blue. I have a bulldog that stinks like you." I read it, and really? Someone doesn't like me? And I don't know who wrote it. I couldn't figure it out. I was crying, and I didn't want to be at the Valentine's Day party anymore. I wanted to go home right now. So I closed the card, and I just put it back in my box and put the lid on it. And I just sat there. All the other kids were laughing and showing each other cards. I just sat there. I watched the clock go by, and finally the bell went off, and it was time to go home. I was just ready to go home. I grabbed my box, and I started walking. On the way back, I was trying to think, who would do that? Who would not like me? I was trying to figure it out. I just couldn't. I couldn't figure out who wrote it. It was Valentine's Day, and unfortunately it was raining and it was windy. And I had to walk home, and I was getting all wet, and it just kept going. And it hurt. My feelings were hurt. So I was walking, and I was so close to being home when suddenly all this wind came off. In my box, the lid fell off, and all the cards, they went everywhere. I scrambled trying to find them, but I couldn't get all of them. There was 25 or 30 of them. I was trying so hard, but I couldn't get all of them. I grabbed the ones I could get, and I got them. And then I decided later I would read them again. So I put the lid back on my box, and I started walking again, and I got home. I got home, and I just sat down. My sister and my brother, since they were both older, they got out of school, and they walked home. They came into my house. She asked me, do you want to show me all your Valentine's Day cards? And usually I was like, yeah. But this time it wasn't nice. Do you know who? But I said, no, someone wrote it, and it was awful. Roses are red. I have a bulldog that thinks like you, but I don't know who wrote it. I'm just heartbroken. That was when I was like 8 or 9, and now, that was when I was 8 or 9 years old. Now I'm 50, and I'm still confused by it. Sticks and bones can break your bones, but words will never hurt me. This is true. Sticks and bones will break your bones, and words will always hurt you.